Welcome to this exploration of consciousness. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a concept that I call temporal resonance. It's one of the seven aeonic principles that I talk about. Now, the aeonic principles are similar to the hermetic principles. However, the aeonic principles take things a step further to look really into the future instead of the past of these principles that help inform our lives so that we can become better and continue to learn and grow at all times. It's not just about time as we know it. It's really how our consciousness interacts with time in profound and really transformative ways. We also look into how this principle aligns with the techniques and experiences that are offered through the Gateway experience in the Monroe Institute. So, whether you are more of a seasoned meditator, you've been around meditation for a long time, or if these ideas are completely new to you, stick around and we'll uncover the secrets of the timelessness of these principles. So, in starting with the basics, temporal resonance is really about it's understanding and navigating consciousness across different dimensions of time instead of just the current time frame that we're in right now. Most of us really consider time to be linear, as in like a straight line from the present to the future, but what if time was more like a web or more like a spiral? And if you imagine that your thoughts, your feelings, and even your intentions resonate across this web of time, influencing not only the present, but also what you perceive as the past and the future. So, for instance, if you've ever had a memory that's suddenly come to you in vivid detail, like a memory that seemed insignificant at the time, but now it feels like it has incredible meaning. Or maybe you've had this sense of like deja vu, where it feels like you've lived this moment before at some point in the past. These experiences that we have just kind of, not even planning them or thinking about them, they're really glimpses into this concept of temporal resonance and where the boundaries of the past, the present, and the future are blurred or the lines just intersect. So it allows us to tap into this like larger field of awareness. In temporal resonance, it's not just about observing these moments, but really actively using them as tools for our own personal growth and the growth of those around us. By understanding how our consciousness interacts with time, we can rewrite the limiting beliefs that we might have from the past and better align our present actions with the future aspirations that we have for ourselves. So let's connect this to the Gateway experience in particular. For those who aren't familiar, the Gateway experience is a program that was developed by the Monroe Institute and is designed to really expand our consciousness using sound technology they call the Hemi-Sync. And this technology synchronizes the brain's hemispheres, which help to achieve altered states of awareness. So the Gateway experience really came from some studies that were done by the CIA back in the day. I don't remember what year, but they were made public some years ago, and the Monroe Institute created their methodology based on those studies. So one of the most fascinating aspects of the Gateway experience is its ability to make time feel more fluid, like it is that web that I mentioned. And during the meditative exercises that they go through, many of the participants of these experiences report experiencing what they call timeless moments. Now, these are really states where the usual ticking of the clock seems to fade, the perception of time tends to fade, and you're left with a profound sense of the present and the now. So, for example, in what they call at the Monroe Institute Focus 10, it's a state taught in this Gateway experience where you're guided to disconnect from your physical body and enter a more deeply relaxed but alert state. In this state, it becomes easier to access memories, easier to see your intentions for the future, and even to explore moments of insights that feel like they exist outside of the realms of linear time. So this aligns really beautiful with the concept of temporal resonance and how it allows you to interact consciously within that web of time. So another thing that comes up in the gateway experience is the emphasis on visualization and on intention setting. Now, by combining a visualization and intention setting with an awareness of temporal resonance, we can begin to see how our thoughts ripple across these dimensions in this web of time, which create a more intentional and a more empowered present reality for ourselves. So, how can you start exploring temporal resonance in your own life? First, practice timeless meditation. So, what does that mean? This means in practicality, you can find like a quiet place just to focus on your breath. And as you enter a meditative state, imagine yourself stepping outside of the bounds, the constraints of linear time. Visualize these moments from the past, visualize the moments in the present and in the future as points on a sphere rather than just in a line. How do these points connect? What insights emerge when you observe them all at the same time? What in your past allows you to connect the dots to the present? And what in the present will allow you to connect the dots to the future? Another thing that you can do is experiment with Hemi-Sync. If you have access to the gateway experience or some binaural beat programs, try them out. That's what it's really based on, is the binaural beats. And these are tools that are designed to guide you into states where temporal resonance becomes more accessible, and pay attention to the shifts that you experience in your perception of time while you're in these states of meditation. You can also journal to anchor in these insights. So after meditation or a hemi-sync session, write down the thoughts or the memories or the ideas that come up during those states. You'll notice patterns, really, connections that were maybe not as obvious before, and it'll help you to tune into the resonance of time in your life. Also, set intentions with more of an awareness of time. So think about, like when you're setting goals, for example, how they resonate with your past experiences and the vision that you have for yourself for the future, the vision that you want to see brought forth in your life. And imagine that by achieving that goal, you're harmonizing the timelines between the past, present, and future, and create a ripple effect that influences all the dimensions of your life. The more that you practice these techniques, the more you'll notice subtle but really profound changes in the way that you see your own actions and the goals that you have for yourself and what's possible. And you'll find that these synchronicities will start to increase and that you gain more clarity in the decisions that you make, how you spend your time that once maybe felt less clear. And this is really the power of temporal resonance in action. So it's a reminder that time is not something that really happens to us. It's something that we can actively engage with, and that by combining the principles of temporal resonance with gateway experience, we can really unlock new realms of understanding and potential in our lives. So thanks for joining me on this episode of temporal resonance and the gateway experience. If you're curious to learn more, stay tuned for the next video, subscribe. We'll dive into the principle of harmonic convergence and how that relates to the gateway experience. Until then, keep exploring consciousness, keep resonating, and remember, the journey is as timeless as you make it.